As we welcome you back to TV Cogeco's coverage, ongoing coverage of the Chatham-Kent Cougars Football Club, and we've got Bantam action today for you from the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex. The Hamilton Hurricanes in town, and Sam Richardson is the young man who will kick it off, and it goes out of bounds at around the 46-yard line in Cougar territory. Flag flies from that out-of-bounds kick. And the Cougars have some pretty good field position to kick this off. Bantam Cougar action begins this afternoon.
Cougars going to start off with some great field position here, Mike. The Hurricanes electing for a directional kick, trying to get possession of that football right on the opening kickoff, but it backfires and goes out of bounds. So as you mentioned, 46-yard line for the Cougars offense to start off here.
Cougars offense will stay on the ground, 1st and 10, and not a lot happening, just past the line of scrimmage. Good job by the defensive line for the Hamilton Hurricanes to have a very minimal gain for the Cougars, maybe one on the ground that time.
Looked like it might have been Owen Turner there with the carry, number 22 for the Cougars. Pretty good numbers for Hamilton. They got a full sideline over there. Came with a full busload for sure.
Pass along the side there, looking for some room to get some decent yardage. And on 2nd and long, maybe only about a 4, maybe 5-yard pickup. So that leaves a few yards short here on 3rd down for the Cougars. As Jared Millard was the one that tossed that one over.
Nice easy throw and catch there for the first pass of the game for the Cougars, going with a wide receiver screen. Just take that quick snap, fire it out to the receiver, and let your blockers help you out in front of you, and a decent pickup.
On 3rd and 5, they keep it on the ground, and a full head of steam. This is going to be first down yardage and more. Keeping that one was Owen Turner, and he busts past midfield into Hamilton territory. That will move the chains. So on 3rd and 5, good running attack for the Cougars, and they have a fresh set of downs now in enemy territory.
Nice blocking up front there from that offensive line. Turner, a couple of spin moves right in the hole. Spins away from a couple of would-be tacklers, and as you mentioned, a first down here. Nice start here for the Cougars on offense.
It's 2 minutes in, and again, the Cougars keep it on the ground, passing the 50-yard line. Cougars picking up maybe 4 yards on first down. Looked like that was Lucas Doyle on the carry that time.
Yeah, they give it to the up man that time. A nice push there up front. Again, that offensive line doing a good job opening up some holes, and you'll take 3 or 4 yards on first down for sure. Certainly makes things easier when you're getting that positive yardage in chunks of 3 or 4.
This time, quarterback out of the shotgun position on 2nd and a short 7. They hand it off to the running back. Cut little move, and he's got some room to move. This is going to be first down yardage and so much more here for Jonathan Cartier, turning the corner. No one else in front of him, and a touchdown. A great run. Almost 50 yards for Jonathan Cartier, and he goes to the big house at 6-0. The Cougars grab an early lead.
Great job there. Cartier from the slot position comes across the formation, takes the handoff, and takes it to the house. Big number 20 showing he's got some speed to get around the corner and just ran away from the defense.
So keeping it exclusively on the ground on that first drive, the Cougars, and it certainly paid off with that long run from Cartier, who got 6 points, and now the Cougars trying to tack on the extra point. It is up and through. And a good opening drive here for the Cougars, the Bantam division over the Hamilton Hurricanes, and now have a touchdown lead on the opposition.
Yeah, about a 46-yard scamper there from Jonathan Cartier, and really like the speed and size that he brings to that offense. Again, lined up in the slot position, he comes across the formation, takes the handoff, and then gets a couple of blocks on the edge and then just runs away from the defenders. Size and speed there for Cartier, and nice opening possession for the Cougars to jump out to the early 7-0 lead.
So let's see now how the defense reacts after the offense doing their job here. And that took less than 3 minutes on that drive. Still 12-12 to go in the opening quarter. And this one booted away by Patrick Gazewski. And here comes Hamilton back with the return past the 35 to around the 38-yard line. And that's where the Hurricanes will have their offense begin the afternoon.
Ryan Maharam with the tackle there, number 7. First chance we'll get to see the Cougars defense on the field. Try to live up to the standard that the offense set here early on in the first possession.
Quick pass along to the near side here, and the pass is complete. First down yardage and a lot more. Crossing midfield was number 23, Sebastian Mazzotti, with the reception, but a flag does fly near the 50-yard line of the Cougars.
This might be an illegal block in the back, perhaps, or a hold. Certainly in that area. The Hamilton squad going with the wide receiver screen that time. We saw one of those from the Cougars on the opening drive, and it's a good passing play to start off for the quarterbacks. Good, easy throw. Get the confidence of the quarterback nice and high. Hold after the first down is the call there. So it's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Hurricanes.
But they do get marched back a little bit.
Yeah, essentially it works out to about a 2 or 3 yard gain. After the holding penalty is assessed.
Brings the football back to the 41-yard line. Back in Hamilton territory. 11.5 to go here in quarter number 1. Early touchdown for the Cougars, and they have a 7-0 lead. Another similar pass along the near side, and the second reception of the game for Mazzotti as he hauls that one in up too close to the Cougars' 50-yard line. He's then tackled out of bounds, so another first down coming up here. That one much more fruitful for the Hurricanes as they push it into Cougar territory.
Liam Henderson for the Cougars coming over to make that tackle, but not until the first down is achieved by Hamilton. And 2 consecutive plays there. They go to wide receiver screens. Good blocking out in front of that receiver. Takes what the defense gives him, and fresh set of downs for the Hurricanes.
Almost identical plays, the first 2 plays of this drive for Hamilton offensively. Taken by the quarterback, trying to find his man downfield, and it's tipped by the Cougars, but a reception for a touchdown as it's brought in by Spencer Kennedy. And some bad luck there for the Cougars as one of the defenders got a hand on it, tipped it in the air, but it fell right into the hands of the intended receiver, Kennedy. And nobody in front of him as he used his speed to rumble downfield and respond in kind to the Cougars' earlier touchdown. And the Hamilton Hurricanes looking to tie it up with the extra point here.
That's unfortunate. Liam Henderson, the defensive back over there, number 23, gets his hand on that football. Hamilton does a good job there. They run 2 consecutive wide receiver screens thinking that'll suck up the defenders, and then they try to go over the top, and Henderson gets one hand on it, but not enough to knock it down. And unfortunately for Henderson and the Cougars defense, it falls into the hands of the receiver who takes it to the house. Now we have a flag on that extra point attempt that did fail. The snap didn't even get back to the holder. The officials talking this one over.
Zach Kazar fighting Spencer Kennedy downfield. And that gets a touchdown for the Hurricanes. Point attempt did not work out for Hamilton, so they're now down by a point. So Cougars get a little bit of a break there. They still have the lead as they will get the football back for the second time this afternoon.
And there is a penalty. Looks like it was an offside on the extra point we're hearing up here in the booth.
Sam Richardson lining up to kick this one away to the Cougars. Very light breeze here at the Athletic Complex at a nice Saturday afternoon. Final home regular season game for the Bantam Cougars here this afternoon. And off the kick, received at the 50-yard line by Hamilton. And it is Sebastian Mazzotti who is bringing that one in. So a little bit of trickery on the kickoff there for the Hurricanes. And it looked like they're going to keep the football as that one traveled 10 yards necessary and positioned perfectly, and some good hands there by Mazzotti.
Yeah, well done there. That looks like the same play that Hamilton tried to execute on the opening kickoff and just couldn't execute perfectly as they did that time. And as you mentioned, Mike, that ball goes at least 10 yards, which is the required distance before any of the players can touch it, and it is a live football after that, and well done by Hamilton.
Worked out perfectly for Hamilton there. Now they keep it on the ground past midfield. Now the football is out.
That's the Cougars football.
And so there you go. That possession for Hamilton didn't last long after that kick recovery. And right at the midfield marker, the Cougars able to jump on that football, and they take it right back.
Ben Barnard, number 5 for the Cougars, able to jump on that football after the ball was stripped from the running back and right back to the offense. So one play for Hamilton after executing that well-placed kick.
Low snap. Now the Cougars keep it on the ground, but not the prettiest of snaps, and that allowed the defense for Hamilton to come in and force a loss on the ground. The loss of looks like 3 yards, so 2nd and 13 or so is coming up here.
Looks like Jarrett Millard had some trouble there with the snap and then was slow to hand it off, and looked like they had a little bit of trouble on the exchange as well, and really slowed things down, allowed Hamilton's defense to get there quickly and cause that loss of yardage.
2nd and 13, a little play action fake, and now almost intercepted at the 45-yard line as that pass goes way over top of the intended receiver. It looks like that was Sam Richardson who almost pulled in the INT. And that's going to set up 3rd and very long here for the Cougars. Third and 12. Shuffled back to the running back who has some trouble getting back to the line of scrimmage. Nowhere for Izuski to go. And some trouble offensively this time around for the Cougars. Brings up a 4th and 12 as they'll have to kick this one away.
Yeah, it looks like they tried to run the sweep over to that far side. Patrick Izuski with the carry.
A 2-yard loss. Snap is good. Kick is quite long. Good boot as it falls down to the 30-yard line. Retrieved at the 25. And this is going to result in a very short return, maybe 2 yards or thereabouts. Good job by the Cougars. As that was hauled in by Lucas Johnston, but not a lot of room for him to do anything. So it's going to be around the 31, 32-yard line in Hamilton territory. That's where the Hurricanes will take over, down by 1.
Great coverage there from Jonathan Cartier. Number 20 fights off the blocker and then makes the tackle. Does a good job sealing off the edge. Doesn't give the return man a lot of options, and then makes a good solid tackle. And as you mentioned, very minimal gain on the return. And a great-looking kick there as well.
Hamilton's last possession lasted one play. As they keep it on the ground, up the middle, checking one tackle, two tackles, and now do it. And does football come out again? We'll see.
Looks like they're going to say the player was down before that ball came out.
Good job by the running back, evading a couple of tackles there defensively for the Cougars. They tried to haul him down. Good gain on 1st and 10 for Hamilton.
Well, both of these teams in similar positions. The Cougars come into this one 1-4. Hamilton, they've won just one game this season as well, so both of these teams looking for their second victory of the season. Now we have the officials talking this one over. I don't know if they're trying to decide if the ball came out before the whistle.
Close to a first down. It looks like they do get the first down. Chains will move, so a good 10-yard run for the Hurricanes. And a new fresh set of downs as it's a 7-6 game for the Cougars. From their own 43. Out of the shotgun formation. And quickly handed off to the running back. It is fumbled. And who falls on it?
Have got it.
It is Chatham-Kent's football once again. You're right, Jamesy, as the Cougars now have great field position in the second fumble recovery in as many drives. So Hamilton having some problems hanging on to the football, and the Cougars able to take advantage of it here. Now they have to march down the field and put some points on the board. Couldn't do much with that last fumble recovery. The 3 and out.
Looks like that was Joe Betterly with the recovery, number 70 for the Cougars. Third offensive possession here for this Cougars O.
Quick swing pass, and it is caught, and some good yardage down that far sideline. Now getting some room between him and the defense, going all the way in for the touchdown. How about that for a quick touchdown? Caught and ran down the field. Owen Turner as they grabbed that one from Jarrett Millard. It's a short pass along that sideline, and it was the yards after the catch that really was impressive there for Turner.
Well, that was just a well-executed play. The ball hits Turner right in the numbers in stride, so he doesn't have to slow down, then just uses the jets to get down the sideline, streaks in for the 36-yard touchdown reception. But a well-placed football there from Jarrett Millard, and Turner, the recipient, just uses that speed to outrun the defense.
The kick is up, kick is through, so that is now a 14-6 lead for the Chatham-Kent Cougars as Cameron Creakin has the extra point. Still 6:43 to play in this opening quarter, so lots of offense for both of these teams so far. Now the Cougars certainly do take advantage of that fumble recovery. And it didn't take them long. One big old play, and now an 8-point lead for the Bantam Cougars, looking to get their second victory of the season.
Hamilton just counting up the numbers and realizing they're a player short. Looks like they got it sorted out now.
Booted away from Patrick Kazuski, and again having some trouble hanging onto the football. Bumbled not once but twice, and now the football is loose at the 30-yard line. Hamilton does jump back on it and will retain possession, but that is, I believe, now even the fourth time that they have bobbled and jumbled the football. They've already lost it a couple of times.
I think I see the coaching staff getting some stick-em out over there. Yeah, that football, for whatever reason, seems to be a little bit slick for this visiting Hamilton team.
At their own 31-yard line, Hamilton back on offense, down by 8. 6:20 and counting remaining in the opening quarter. Quarterback hands it off to the running back along that far side, finds a seam and just jumps right over one of the would-be tacklers. Kyle Baker's got that big frame, and he's got a pretty good vertical jump as well, vertical leap, as he just completely hurdled over top of one of the Cougars defenders. Gets up to the 49-yard line, and a first down. A nifty run there for the Hurricanes.
Looked like that was maybe Owen Turner that got hurdled. Managed to just clip enough of his foot or knee as he was going over top of him to force him to the ground. So did manage to get the tackle, but certainly some highlight reel stuff.
Again, they keep it on the ground close to midfield. 4, maybe 5-yard pickup on the ground, and Sebastian Bizzotti again with the carry.
.42 Kyle Baker brings some real size to that running back position for Hamilton. Looks to be a load out there, and obviously some good athletic ability as we saw in that hurdle earlier.
High snap, but handled nicely. The aforementioned Baker, he still has it, and he crosses the 40-yard line. He's still going. He's got some room to move. Only a couple of Cougar defenders. Sidesteps a couple of more. Gets up to around the 10-yard line. And the second nifty play of the game, Kyle Baker on the ground. So don't let his size fool you. He is very agile, and he's able to move around defenders quite easily.
Well, that was about a 50-yard run there from Baker. He's got size, and as you mentioned, some nifty agility too. Breaking that back from the sideline back toward the middle of the field and nearly outrunning the Cougars defense. Good hustle from number 25, Ethan Joseph, to drag down Baker short of the end zone.
First and goal, they made it to the 7-yard line. Again, they keep it on the ground. This time the Cougars defense up to the task, and they snuff out that run pretty quickly. Still a 3-yard pickup. Looked like that was Alex Gleason in on the tackle. And second and goal now. The 4-yard line for the Hurricanes. Down by 8, 14-6. Both offenses having a pretty good run here, aside from a couple of turnovers in this first quarter. Second and goal.
I got to think they're going to go back to Baker here, and they do exactly that.
As he shakes off one tackle, uses that big frame to try and bowl his way to the goal line. Comes up short.
Well, it looks like the Cougars defense is going to have its hands full with Baker today. A real punishing runner from what we've seen so far.
What Baker did, though, was avoid 2 or 3 yard loss. He does get up to the 1, so a 3-yard gain. The ball resting at the 1-yard line, so right on the doorstep. And it's hard to believe that they wouldn't go back to Baker again.
Yeah, either Baker or just a quarterback keeper here.
Third and goal from the 1. They keep it on the ground, and they go in for the touchdown.
We do have a flag on the field, though. I'll have to wait and see what this is.
Not a lot of celebrations going on.
Offside defense.
Hamilton, but they will now celebrate. It is against the Cougars, and that touchdown will stand as they get 6 more on the board. So a 14-12 game now, pending this upcoming extra point, which didn't work out after the last Hamilton touchdown.
Well, a nice run there from Baker. He looks to get the edge, and looked like it was maybe the defensive end flashes up the field, so Baker just cuts it back inside and just saunters into the end zone, virtually untouched. Cougars defense going to have to find a way to limit big number 42 from Hamilton.
Here's Richardson with the extra point attempt. And it is now a 1-point game, 14-13, as the Hamilton Hurricanes respond pretty quickly after the Cougars had their second major of the afternoon. We've got a good football game here with both teams looking for their second win of the season. And a 14-13 game, 2:48 left to go in quarter number 1.
Good contingent of fans from Hamilton that made the trek to Chatham today as well.
2-hour bus ride down.
Cougars obviously getting ready for any kind of an onside kick here. They don't have a deep return man, daring Hamilton to kick it deep.
And they do, and now the Cougars finally pick it up the 25-yard line. And that's Liam Henderson. See, bowls his way up to close to the 40-yard line, and that's where the Cougars will have some pretty decent field position for this drive here. And 2:42 to go in quarter number 1. 14-13, very close, entertaining football game here at the Chatham-Kent Athletic Complex.
Yeah, after a couple of onside kicks there from Hamilton, the Cougars coaching staff making the adjustment on special teams and daring Hamilton to kick it deep. In good field position for the offense here.
Back to throw, and it was underthrown that time by Jared Millard. Looked like that was intended for maybe Izuski along this near side. Pardon me, no, I think that was Julian Farrell, 81. Second and 10 now. Cougars up by 1, less than 2 to play the opening quarter out of the shotgun. Back to pass once again, looking to his left, going deep, trying to find his man, and just overthrown, trying to find Karche, who was running down that far side there, all alone, and maybe half a foot overthrown. He had Karche pretty much wide open.
And interesting there, that time they go with Owen Turner at quarterback. Perhaps Turner has the stronger arm, throwing it deep that time. Jarrett Millard, the usual quarterback, flared out to the left side, lined up at the running back that time, but now back at the quarterback position.
3rd and 10, they try the ground this time, and glad they do as they go all the way up to the 50-yard line. A great run there up the middle, Owen Turner. And on 3rd and 10, that moves the chains, so good job on the ground for Turner. And it looks like with the offense here for the Bantam Cougars, they can interchange between running back and quarterback with Owen Turner and Jonathan Karche.
Yeah, Turner showing he can run the football there as well. Nice strong run. That offensive line, really impressed with their work so far in this football game. Cougars having a lot of success running the football.
In the last minute of the first quarter, again, they keep it on the ground and past the 45-yard line, so about a 6-yard pickup on 1st and 10.
Good move there. It looked like it was Lucas Doyle with the carry. One of the Hamilton defenders got into the hole, and he just sidestepped him and then picked up 5 yards. Good job making a miss right in the middle of that offensive line here. Oh, that football's on the ground.
Fumbled right off of the handoff. Looks like the Cougars able to scoop it back up again, but they lose a yard, maybe 2. 3rd down and 6 coming up here, so the Cougars fortunate to keep possession, but both teams having some trouble hanging on to this football in the first quarter.
Amazing, Owen Turner had enough time to stop, reach down and pick it up. and tried to do something with it before he was tackled. Generally, you barely have enough time to just fall on it, but Turner able to scoop it back up and minimal loss.
3rd and 6, final play of the first quarter, and that one intended for Cameron Bayshard falls to the turf incomplete. So 4th and 6 coming up to be the first play of the second quarter. And a pretty good one. Chatham-Kent Cougars, the Bantam Cougars have a 14-13 lead on the visiting Hamilton Hurricanes.
Yeah, fairly high-scoring affair in that first quarter, back and forth. Some obviously some big playability from both offenses. The run game for both teams very strong. Looks like both defenses are going to have their hands full today.
Team switching sides for the beginning of the second quarter. Mike Renier along with Mike James, Jeff Brooks on the camera. TV coach goes ongoing coverage of the Chatham-Kent Cougars this afternoon, bringing you the Bantam Cougars. And on 4th and 6, very low snap. It hits the turf. Broken play. And the Cougars have to pick it up. And still on his feet, trying to get as many yards as he possibly can, was Patrick Izuski. But not even able to get it to the line of scrimmage. So very low snap, hits the turf, and the Hamilton Hurricanes will benefit as they have some very good field position almost to their own 50-yard line as they will begin down by 1 point underway in the second quarter.
Yeah, that's a tough one for Izuski to handle. It bounced about 2-3 feet in front of him and then squibbed between his legs. Just able to scoop it up and didn't feel like he had enough time to attempt to kick, so he just tries to run for the first down. But as you mentioned, well short. And unfortunately, the Cougars turn it over on downs and unable to pin Hamilton deep in their own end.
First and 10. Short little pass and dropped. He was wide open. Sebastian Mazzotti just flat out dropped it. There's a flag on the play right as the quarterback was releasing the football.
I'm wondering if it wasn't perhaps a block before the pass was thrown. We'll have to wait to see how they sort this one out.
It is going against the Hamilton Hurricanes.
So it looked like the call was offsides. So the Cougars pushing them back 5 yards. Makes it a 1st and 15 here for Hamilton from their own. Looks to be about their 44-yard line. 45, I guess we could say. 44. We'll take a look at that spot.
44.5. Split the difference. Keeping it on the ground once again, and in danger of losing a lot of yards. Taken down was big Kyle Baker, number 42. He's not an easy one to take down. But the Cougars defense able to grab him by the legs, and eventually he was hauled down to the 35-yard line. So that is another big chunk of yards backwards that Hamilton goes. And that's a loss of 10. So 2nd and 25 now. A huge task for the offense for Hamilton. After taken down was Kyle Baker.
Good job by Joe Betterly, the big defensive end, number 70, making that tackle. Got a hold of a leg and didn't let go.
They go right back to the ground. And again, the good job by the Cougar defense. Connor Perosley, that time on the ground for Hamilton. Doesn't fare a whole lot better against that Cougars defense, which is starting to really get fine-tuned and doing a good job against the Hamilton run. Only a 2-yard gain that time.
That time, Brendan Bondi with the tackle, big number 50. Good-looking form tackle. His head up, wraps the arms around the thigh area, and then drives him back and gets some help from the rest of that defense.
On 3rd and 23, they go to the air, and once again, Was that a forward pass? Cougars doing a good job to jump onto that football just in case it was not a forward pass. But again, that one looked to go right through the hands of Sebastian Mazzotti.
It looks like the officials saying that was a forward pass. And it was close, you're right. Yeah, incomplete pass. The officials talking it over because it was close, but ultimately it is ruled a forward pass and incomplete. So 4th down, and great job by that defense, really stiffening up against the run. Baker had no room whatsoever, and Hamilton forced to kick this one away.
On 4th and 23, it's booted up in the air as the wind kicks up a little bit here this afternoon. Falls down to the 35 and picked up at the 25. New yards flag comes out, still on his feet past the 35-yard line, and taking a big hit there was Liam Henderson. He took a licking there, but he jumps right back up on his feet. And he's just fine, but Henderson able to grab a few yards on the return up to the 35.
We got to like Liam Henderson's toughness. Took a good smack there. We could hear that in the booth clearly, but jumps right back up. Not fazed by it at all. And one of the keys as a return man, you got to have that fearlessness, because you know there's a chance every time that you're going to take a pretty good pop, and Henderson takes one that time, but you like to see that toughness. He pops right back up. And the Cougars good field position here.
Three and a quarter minutes into the second quarter. Short pass. That was caught. Now trying to get up to the line of scrimmage and finding a hole along that far side. Doing a great job still on his feet. Past the 50-yard line up to the 40, 35, and the Cougars still on it, going towards the end zone, getting some room between him and the defense. What a play by number 20, Jonathan Cartier. He goes the distance into the end zone for a touchdown, and that was a magnificent job by Cartier. Touchdown Cougars, and now they are up by 7.
Get the football in that man's hands. What a play by Cartier. Gets the catch on this near side, and it was a backward pass actually. But Cartier does a good job cutting it back against the grain. He saw he had no room whatsoever. It was read well by Hamilton, but Cartier uses that speed and elusiveness, dekes out a couple would-be tacklers, and then takes it to that far side and just uses that speed to run down the sideline. Amazing job by Cartier.
Very high snap, but it is up. And the kick by Cameron Creakin, I believe, was no good that time around. So a 7-point lead intact here by the Cougars. 20-13 they have the lead. Still 11:28 to go in this second quarter. So lots of time left to go in this opening quarter. Still lots of offense this time around.
Oh, certainly has been. And it looks like, I wouldn't be surprised, maybe the Cougars trying to set up Hamilton later on in this game on offense. That's about the 3rd or 4th play where we've seen them throw the ball backwards from the line of scrimmage and then have the receiver keep it and try to go upfield. But don't forget, you throw that ball backwards, you're still an eligible passer in that kind of a formation. So don't be surprised maybe later on in this game they throw that kind of a similar pass, but they throw it backwards, and then that receiver then throws it downfield. Looks like they might just be trying to set something up for later on in this game.
Huge run for Cartier. And a 20-13 lead now for the Cougars. It is kicked off to the 30-yard line. Bouncing football picked up, and a huge tackle. Plowed his man down, Owen Turner. Ensuring there's not much of a return at all. 11:25 to go, 34-yard line. That is the starting point for the Hamilton Hurricanes. Down by 7.
Another big hit on special teams. And that's what you can come to expect usually on special teams. A lot of collisions, and that's why you're seeing, college football and the NFL, the upper levels, trying to reduce the number of kick returns because of the number of collisions that you're seeing in punts and kickoffs, but really the changes you're seeing on the kickoffs for the most part, most of them now going out of the end zone in college and pro football.
Taking the drama out of the kickoffs for sure. But for player safety, it seems to be working in small increments anyway. Good play by big running back past the 45-yard line. Getting the run by Kyle Baker. There is a flag on the play at the 45. But after a rough go that last drive for Hamilton, Baker seems to be back in form there after that run as he sheds a couple of tackles. And there's a face mask penalty now coming up against the Cougars. And that's going to march the football a significant amount, 15 yards to our right.
Yeah, you're right, Mike. Another 15 yards on the end of that run. And Baker just such a load trying to bring him down. He is not only does he have the size, but also, as we mentioned, we've seen some elusiveness from him as well. He's not just a one-trick pony. Cougars defense going to have to get stout here, get nice and low on Baker because he's just got too much size up top. Try and take him on up high.
Once again, they tried to Baker on the ground. He sheds a couple of would-be tacklers still on the ground, rumbling towards that far sideline. And finally taken down inside the 25-yard line. So again, after he was stopped a couple of times that last drive by the Cougars defense, Baker's right back to where he started this football game, getting lots of yardage on the ground, up to the 21-yard line in Cougars territory. So Hamilton trying to respond now after that Cougar touchdown, down by 7, trying to maybe tie this thing up.
As I mentioned, those arm tackles just are not going to cut it against Baker. Big number 42, just too big, too strong. You're going to have to get low and wrap.
Keeping it on the ground and maybe only getting a yard or two. Spencer Kennedy, I believe, 32 on that last assignment.
Good-looking form tackle there from number 50, Brendan Bondi. Met him right in the middle. Nice and low. Drive the legs. Lift up with the arms. Take his feet out from under him and put him down into the ground. And Bondi does a good job there.
Pickup of 2, 2nd and 8. From the 19, out of the shotgun, quarterback back to pass, finds his man, which was wide open, turns to his right, trying to find some room to get into the end zone, and he does. It is a touchdown for Hamilton and Spencer Kennedy. Again, yards after the catch was the impressive stuff that time. Using his speed, getting past the defense, and just getting into the near corner, I should say, and a touchdown for Kennedy. And Hamilton has a chance to tie this thing up right here.
Good looking pass and catch there. That ball right on the numbers. Well thrown football, hitting the receiver right in stride and using that speed to get to the edge and just get into the corner of that end zone.
And that ties it up. We have a 20-20 football game with 9:03 to play in this second quarter. So the offense really doing quite a number on both sides of the equation here, both Hamilton and Chatham-Kent, with some good offense. And already 40 points scored in about a quarter and a half of football here this afternoon.
So far, these teams looking very evenly matched. Both offenses pretty potent, and looks like this one's just going to come down to whatever defense is able to step it up as this game goes on into the second half.
Could be a very high-scoring football game here. Richardson getting ready to kick this one away. Kind of a mid-level kick. Cougars able to grab it and head to the 50-yard line, just shy of the 50-yard line, around the 49. And I think it was Julian Farrell who got the return. So Farrell gets up to the 49-yard line. Pretty good position once again for the offense for the Cougars to work with here in a tie football game.
Yeah, nice return there from Farrell, number 81 for the Cougars. Looked like there might have been just a little bit of confusion who was going to scoop that up, but Farrell does a good job. Picks up the football and a nice return. Good field position here for the offense for Chatham-Kent.
Good flow offensively for both of these teams. Cougars offense this time around trying to keep it going. Maybe get another major. And a timeout's being called, I believe, by Hamilton here. Called just as the snap was happening. Owen Turner and Jonathan Cartier leading the way offensively here for the Chatham-Kent Cougars.
Looks like the wind has picked up just a little bit. Flag in the distance. Waving. Looks like it's the wind's coming out of the south. So across the field. So not really favoring anybody at this point.
Cougars back to offense. And a lot of trouble here for the running back, number 20, brought down as Jonathan Cartier had nowhere to go, as he was backed up a lot and brought down to the 35-yard line. So this is a huge second and over 20 to go here.
Yeah, loss of about 14 yards there on that carry.
Second and 24. As Cartier was fed the football a fair bit behind the line of scrimmage, backed up trying to find a hole to work with, and nothing happened. And some big-time pressure from the defense of Hamilton. 14-yard loss and almost hauled in by Dean Weiberg there for the Cougars, but he just has it fall through his fingertips. And that's a drop. So 3rd and 24 here for Chatham-Kent.
Interesting, too, because they've got Weiberg listed as an offensive tackle. 6 feet, 200 pounds, but likely lined up at the tight end position that time.
Third and 24. Hamilton expecting a fairly deep pass here. Instead, shovel pass to the running back, trying to find as many open holes as he can, and now he lets the ball go as he hits the turf, and they're saying he was down before the ball popped loose. But that was Liam Henderson, and not a lot he could work with there on 4th and 3rd and very long. Now it is 4th and 26 for the Cougars. And you'd have to figure that Hamilton will have some pretty decent field position here after this punt.
Yeah, Henderson able to pick up a couple blocks, but not enough before he's swallowed up by that Hamilton defense. The Hurricanes doing a good job that time on the Cougars, containing the run game. Really the first time that we've seen them had that kind of success against this Cougars offense.
6.5 to play in the first half. The ball is punted away successfully as this is right at midfield. Again, having some trouble right off of the get-go to corral that football, but getting it back and falling on it in Chatham-Kent territory, the 54-yard line. The Hamilton Hurricanes, looks like that was Johnston with the punt return. Not much of a return, but still. Hamilton getting it in Chatham-Kent territory.
Good job by the Cougars on special teams that time. Good snap to Patrick Uzuski and got away a good kick. You remember the time before, Uzuski had a low snap that bobbled away and they weren't even able to get the kickoff. So nice to see that improvement that time.
Pass cut along that far side and some yards to work with after he catches the football, still on his feet. And Sebastian Mazzotti able to scamper well past the 30-yard line, deep into Cougar territory. So again, good field position. The ball keeps moving for Hamilton here in a tie football game. Both teams at 20.
Mazzotti, a couple times we've seen him with the football and make some pretty big gains. Clearly a weapon for this Hamilton squad, number 23.
Up to the 25-yard line of Chatham-Kent. Again, they keep it on the ground, and takes 3 Cougars to bring down Kyle Baker as he rumbled right up the middle.
I think that was number 85 for the Cougars, Patrick Uzuski, who went along for the ride. He went up high and grabbed onto the shoulders of Baker, and he got dragged about 3 or 4 yards behind him. You could just see his feet dragging behind him, skiing behind Baker, before finally a couple other defenders come in to help bring down big number 42.
5-yard pickup on the ground that time, and again they keep it on the ground, still on the ground, scampering for first down yardage. And the chains continue to move here for Hamilton.
Boy, Baker is just a truck. Gets his hand out in front of him and puts his hand on the back of one of his fellow offensive teammates and just pushes him forward and uses him as a bulldozer to clear the way before he finds another hole to scamper through. And Baker is a house, really taking control of this game on offense.
Really great offensive weapon to have. And now it's first and goal for Hamilton. 9-yard line, some early trouble, and now brought down is the quarterback as Kazar couldn't find any open options, and by the time he possibly did, the Cougars defense is right there to take him down. So a sack and a loss of 2. So this is backed up to the 11-yard line, still second and goal.
Yeah, there was confusion on that handoff. It looked like Baker was supposed to get it. And for whatever reason, they weren't able to get the handoff and forced to swallow that one for the loss.
Another important play for the Cougar defense here, and a pass complete along that far sideline. And trying to scramble into the end zone. He does make it inside that pylon for another touchdown for Hamilton. And they take the lead.
Looks like that might have been Mazzotti there on that far side.
He's had a couple of drop passes in this football game, but he has made up for it with some beauty catches as well. And looks like Mazzotti gets the major score in a 26-20 lead.
No shortage of offense in this first half, that's for sure.
Incredible so far for both sides. And this one booted up and through, so a 7-point lead, largest lead of the game. Hamilton Hurricanes now on top, still 3:12 to play in the opening half. And the Cougars offense now has to find a way to answer the bell here and hopefully head to the break at halftime squared up. Good mix of pass and run this afternoon. That last drive for the Hamilton Hurricanes, but certainly the ground game led by Kyle Baker, using that big frame to kind of bully his way down the field.
Yeah, he is a truckload, and he's going to have to be the key for this Cougars defense to slow down that Hamilton offense.
Very short kick, trying to get that football back again is Hamilton, and now it's loose ball, the 50-yard line. Looks like the Cougars do successfully pounce on it with Patrick Kazuski lifting up the football and handing to the refs. So the Cougars will take over at around the 50-yard line. So again, decent field position, 3:09 to work with in the second quarter. The Cougars, though, this time find themselves down by 7.
Yeah, Cougars going to have to find a way to respond here, get that offense rolling again. That last drive, they just weren't able to get that run game going, and it all started with the big loss on first down when Jonathan Cartier got dragged for about a 14-yard loss, and that's tough to overcome. But certainly this Cougars offensive line has done a great job opening holes for those running backs. See if they can't get back on track.
Going to the air, and a nice reception, and a first down reception still on his feet. Number 85, Patrick Kazuski, crosses the 45-yard line. That's going to move the chains, and on 1st and 10, that's a good quick play there for the Cougars to move those chains and get this football rolling here. 2.5 to play in the second quarter.
Yeah, 15-yard gain there on the reception by Kazuski. Certainly a big target, almost 6 feet, but 160 pounds.
Out of the shotgun, faking it to the running back, and now pass that falls incomplete. Looking, I think, for that short pass to Cameron Bayshard, and Bayshard couldn't haul it in. 2nd down and 10.
I'm going to guess that that ball was maybe uncatchable because it looked like Bayshard was maybe interfered with before the ball even arrived into his area. Looked like he was knocked down to the ground, but perhaps that ball deemed to be uncatchable.
On 2nd and 10, short little swing pass caught, and some big yards after the reception. This could go all the way into the end zone. It will, for a touchdown for Chatham-Kent. Jonathan Cartier, his 2nd major of the afternoon. And that's precisely what Chatham-Kent needed at the time they needed it to happen, too, right before halftime. Now down only by 1.
We got a flagged here as that ball was going down the sidelines. I'm not sure if they're going to flag the Cougars for that one or if that was on Hamilton. As Cartier was taking that to the house, number 24, Cameron Bayshard, was trailing. I'm not sure if it was Bayshard that was cut or if Bayshard cut one of the Hamilton defenders down. And, well, Hamilton clapping now, so looks like it was Bayshard who was the offender there. And this one going to come back. That's unfortunate, taking a touchdown off the board.
Touchdown comes off, as Mike said, and the football back to the 25-yard line.
That's a shame, too, because Cartier was already well on his way to getting into the end zone. It was really an unnecessary block, but it cost the Cougars a touchdown with 2:05 to go here in the first half. Hopefully they can recover.
Plenty of time. Keep it on the ground once again, and another nifty ground move there for the Cougars. And number 22, Owen Turner, with the assignment that time around. And Turner gets pretty close to 9 yards on that run.
Great blocking up front. Owen Turner just runs through a massive hole on that left side. Really impressed so far with this offensive line of the Cougars. Doing a great job controlling that line of scrimmage.
Second down and just 1 to go. 16-yard line. Again, they keep it on the ground to get that 1 yard, and it looks like that is just academic there. Once again, carried by Owen Turner. And first down for the Cougars. So with that touchdown taken off the board, Cougars don't seem to be too fazed by it. And they just could keep methodically getting that football down.
Nice vision there from Turner. Looked like he was looking to go right up the middle with that one and just bounces it outside, sees the inside's all plugged up, kicks it out to the outside, bounces it outside, and gets upfield for that first down.
1:17 to play in the first half. Again, they hand it off, and a little reverse happening now, and some room to move here along the near side. Nobody in front, and they get in for the touchdown. Nobody in front of Izuski, as initially they went to Karche. A little end around, though, and Izuski gets the football nobody in front of him, I should say, and he scampers in for the major. So a good play there for the Cougars offensively, and now they get into the big house.
Yeah, they run the reverse there. And, boy, did they have that Hamilton defense fooled. The Hurricanes following the football and over pursue on that far side. And then Izuski with blockers in front of him and virtually nobody from that defense of Hamilton over there. An easy touchdown run.
Extra point blocked by Hamilton. So the Cougars unable to get back onto even terms, but they're back 2 within 1. And 1:06 to go in this opening half. Second quarter coming to an end here pretty soon. So Cougars defense all want to get on the same page and shut down the Hamilton offense so they can at least escape this first half down by just a single point.
Well, nice to see that penalty didn't end up costing the Cougars on that touchdown run earlier from Cartier that was called back. Cougars do eventually get into the end zone, so doesn't cost them anything, and that's fortunate for the Cougars, because oftentimes you have a penalty like that, you just fail to recover and don't get that touchdown that got taken away from you. But a good job by the offense staying focused and getting that major.
Izuski to kick this one away. And football comes down outside of the 40-yard line. And barreling in from the Cougars looked like that was Ethan Joseph. Full head of steam.
It looked like the Hamilton player was a little bit unsure there what to do with that football. But remember, again, as we mentioned earlier in this football game, once that ball goes 10 yards, it's live for anybody to pick up, and that includes anybody on that Cougars squad. Luckily for Hamilton, one of the return men comes up to scoop that football. The Cougars nearly recovering that one. Good little directional kick from the Cougars, finding a little bit of an opening there in that return game.
From the 37-yard line, quarterback surveys the field, and it's picked off by the Cougars. Only a couple of blockers in front of him, or he might have been in for a pick six. But the Cougars able to nab that pass and get a huge interception.
Look like that's just trying to get the jersey number there. Believe that might have been Garrett Stonefish, perhaps, 84. Good hands there from Stonefish. Scooped that one out of the air. That football had some speed on it. There's a little mustard on that one, but Stonefish showing he doesn't have stone hands, making the grab.
The punt of the afternoon to Mike James. Well done. Big chance here for the Cougars offensively.
Good pass and catch there from the Cougars.
Yeah, it falls into the hands of Julian Farrell. Couldn't see if that was caught or not from this particular angle right away, but he does haul that one in. And Farrell gets the catch. And a pickup of 5, 2nd and 5 to go as the wind starts to pick up quite considerably now towards the end of the second quarter. 50 seconds left to go in the half.
Good ball also from Jarrett Millard throwing that one just as he's getting hit. But the ball gets there. Good spot on that football, too, because there were a couple of defenders in the area. Puts it only where the receiver can get it.
2nd and 5 for the Cougars. And shoveled the running back, who in turn passes it ahead for Cartier, who is able to still hang on to that football. And we'll see how many yards he was able to pick up there.
Boy, that's an interesting play, because Jonathan Cartier was lined up as the quarterback that time, took the snap, pitched it out to the running back. Then Cartier runs out into the flats as the receiver, makes the catch, which I got to say from this angle did not look like an easy catch at all to make, and picks up a nice chunk of yardage there. A little bit of trickery from the Cougars here to try and close out this first half with a score.
Down by just a single point. 1st and 10, 14-yard line here for the Cougars. Cartier, who's able to shovel it off to the running back, but some trouble finding the footing, and falling down was Izuski after he got the football. And that's going to back up the ball a couple of yards here. It's unfortunate for the Cougars. It looked like he had a little bit of room to move, but just didn't get the footing, and he fell down.
Yeah, I wonder if there was going to be some trickery there as well. As we mentioned, Cartier lining up at quarterback and then pitching it out to Izuski, and it looked like Cartier was going to run into the flats again and become a potential receiver. Not sure if that was just to fake out the defense, and really it was going to be Izuski that was going to keep it, but nonetheless, looks like we've got our regular quarterback once again.
And on 2nd and 15, that's batted away. Big defense there for Hamilton. Didn't see who got his mitt up in the air to knock that one down, but good job by the front few by the Hamilton Hurricanes just to get into the face of the quarterback and knock that one down. Just 10 seconds to go in quarter number 2.
Yeah, it was
Cougars still only down by 1, Mike.
Sorry there, Mike. It was Jarrett Millard back at quarterback that time with that pass attempt. So a big 3rd down here, Mike. As you mentioned, just 10.1 seconds to go. Cougars, it's either end zone here or get yourself in a good field position. Oh, they're going to kick this one away.
And they kick it on 3rd and 15, deep into the end zone. Flag does fly, and Hamilton, looks like number 7, Nolan Brougham, falls into the end zone.
The Cougars were looking to get that single point to tie this one up, heading to the half, and they did execute that one well, making the tackle in the end zone, but now we'll have to sort this one out, see what the penalty is. If this is against Hamilton, a big opportunity here for the Cougars maybe to go for a field goal, go for 3, or who knows, maybe even go for the end zone. We'll see how daring the coaching staff is feeling here. Looks like this one is going against the Hurricanes. The officials talking to the Cougars captain on the field, looking to make a decision on what it is exactly they want to do here. Well, this could be a big opportunity here for the Cougars to put some extra points on the board.
So an interesting end to the first half that is not done yet. A 27-26 lead for Hamilton at the moment.
Really taking some time here to sort this one out. Well, we're about to get word now from the official here. Holding on Hamilton. Okay, so it was a holding call on Hamilton. The Cougars decline the penalty, so they take the single point.
And that's going to do it for the first half, I do imagine. Unless there is
looks like they're going to kick off.
Yeah, I didn't think you could end off first half on a penalty, so one more play to go here before we head to the dressing rooms in what is now a tie football game after that single point achieved by the Cougars, 27 apiece. in an offense-filled first couple of quarters here this afternoon.
Yeah,
Drama there.
Yeah, it certainly was. Oh, now they're going to say that's the end of the first half.
Confusion everywhere. So there we are. We are done the first half of football here this afternoon at the athletic complex here in Chatham-Kent. Good football game. Come on back to the second half very soon. It is the Chatham-Kent Cougars and the Hamilton Hurricanes all tied up at 27. It's Chatham-Kent Cougars Bantam action today with TV Cogeco. Back for the second half of action here. The Chatham-Kent Bantam Cougars action on TV Cogeco. It's Mike Renier, Mike James, Jeff Brooks on the camera, and a good football game. We're all tied up at 27 as we'll start off the third quarter. The Hamilton Hurricanes, and a short little kick here, grabbed close to midfield. And jumping up and grabbing it there, Christopher Durante for Hamilton. And injured, an injured Hurricane right at the 55-yard line, or very close to midfield.
Well, looked like he took a shot from Owen Turner, who was going up to catch that football. Some trickery right off the bat here from the Cougars to start the second half. Looking for that on-style side kick. They overload the near side of the football field and looking to time it so one of the Cougars can get under that football as it's coming down. It did travel the required 10 yards at least, but the big man, one of the up men for Hamilton, catches that football first, showing some pretty good athleticism for a big man, but takes a pretty good shot while he's up in the air catching that football, and he's still on the ground being tended to.
A back-and-forth football game in the first half. Cougars had the lead for the lion's share of the football game in the opening half, but brief lead for Hamilton. They were up 27-20. Cougars able to claw their way back over a couple of possessions to tie it up at 27, and slowly getting up under his own power. Needs a little bit of help to get off the field, but good to see Christopher Durante. Hopefully he's going to be all right. He does certainly look shaken up, and he's off to the sidelines.
Yeah, big number 63. Plays in the trenches. When you've got that kind of number, you got to have some good size.
If you're in the 60s, you normally do. But he did a good job to grab that football off the kickoff and physically paid the price. Hopefully seeing him back in the football game sooner than later. From the 54-yard line of the Cougars, Hamilton with some good field position, and off the run here on 1st and 10. They're going to keep the chains moving. And picking up where he left off in the first half, Kyle Baker able to rumble all the way to the 30-yard line, so well over a 20-yard run there for Baker. He's racking up some serious yardage in this football game.
Looked to be about a 23, 24-yard carry there from Baker. And again, you see that jumping and hurdling ability, eluding one of the would-be tacklers from that Cougars defense. And Baker is just tough to bring down. He's showing that right there, just at the end of that play too. Just seemed to grab one of the Cougars defenders, one of the defensive backs, and just tossed him to the ground out of the way.
On the ground again on 1st and 10. And a pickup of around 5, it looks like. Getting half the necessary yardage to keep the chains moving. 2nd and 5. Just over a minute gone by here in this third quarter. In a 27-all football game. Kazar once again hands it off to the running back, but this time nowhere to go for Kennedy. And the Cougars defense doing a good job there to stop any kind of run.
Good job there from big number 50, Brendan Bondi, the defensive end, 6'1", about 160 pounds, gets into that backfield and wraps up the running back nice and low, and then a couple more defenders come in to clean that up, but good job there getting some penetration into the backfield and nowhere to go for the running back from Hamilton.
Big play here defensively for the Cougars, 3rd and 8. Quarterback back to pass it, and that was well wide of the intended receiver. Kennedy, Zach Kazar. Might have been some signals crossed there between Kazar and Spencer Kennedy, but falls incomplete, and the Cougars defense doing the job there. 4th and 8 now.
Yeah, Kennedy was open. That pass from Cesar just a little bit wide outside. And looks like Hamilton going to go for it here on 4th and 8.
And a very high snap that goes well over top of the quarterback's head, but the play is whistled down immediately.
Not sure if it was Hamilton that moved first or if it was the Cougars defense that jumped across. The official is going to talk this one over right now because it looked like there was some movement on both sides. They're going to say it was the defense that was offside first, so 5 yards. And, of course, Hamilton likely, I would believe, still going to go for it here on 4th and about 4 to go.
Now for Hamilton, they give it to the big fella who goes right up the middle, and he looks to have necessary yardage to move the chains. And Kyle Baker.
Well, not sure what they're trying to sort out here. It looks like we have another flag on the field. It was on the far side. This one, now it's going against Hamilton. Looks like somebody might have been lined up off sides for the Hurricanes. So Hamilton returns the favor, and we're back to 4th and 8.
That first down run negated, so a bit of a present there for the Cougars. Quarterback actually snapped right directly to the running back with Kyle Baker, and on 4th and 8.
Looks like that's short, and the Cougars defense does the job. Interesting call there from Hamilton deciding to go for it on 4th and 8 from inside the 30-yard line of the Cougars. Now the wind has been shifting around, And looks like Hamilton maybe was going into the wind there. Maybe not a lot of faith in their field goal kicker, and weren't sure about getting the single point, kicking it into the end zone. So they turned the football over on downs.
A direct snap to the running back Baker, and he almost got there, but just a little bit short. So a turnover on downs. Cougars get the football back in a tie game. They keep it on the ground on 1st and 10, and not getting very much at all was Owen Turner. 2nd down coming up here.
Odd looking play from up here. Hard to tell what exactly happened in the backfield.
Turner barely getting back to the line of scrimmage, so really no gain on that play. They go to the air this time, almost picked off. Evan Andrews was wide open. Cougars quite happy that he didn't retrieve it. Andrews that close to an INT.
Oh yeah, and had he caught it, likely was gone for the touchdown. Nothing but daylight in front of him. That ball hits the ground. Now it looks like we got a timeout by the Cougars here, but yeah, that pass was intended for number 20, Jonathan Cartier, and looked like he had a step on his man, but that football didn't get there. Nearly picked off. The Cougars fortunate there that that ball was dropped by number 15 from Hamilton, or else that was likely a pick 6 for the Hurricanes.
Only 5 minutes into the second half. It just doesn't have the easy free flow feel to it that the entire first half did, because the offense just was working really every drive for both teams in that first half.
Can you say free flow feel 5 times fast?
I had to really think about it that time. It worked out all right, but that probably won't happen again.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't. Some struggles here from the Cougars offense. Looks like the coaching staff for the Cougars weren't exactly happy with what they were seeing from their offense, so called the timeout and looked to get the offense regroup. We'll see if that pays off here on a big 3rd and long, 3rd and 10 for Chatham-Kent.
They've converted once before here in a 3rd and 10, so we'll see if we can hopefully do it again. They go to the air, and this one is brought in. Reception to Owen Turner, but well short of the first down, so to bring up 4th medium range here, deep in their own zone, so probably a no-brainer here. They're going to kick this one away with under 10 to play in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, and you'd expect big number 85, Izuski, to put the foot to it, and this could be a pretty good kick. The wind has been playing around here today, shifting quite a bit, but looks like right now that wind is at the back of the Cougars, so as long as everything goes to plan here, Izuski should get a pretty decent boot away.
Good kick right to midfield, hauled in by Hamilton, number 42, Kyle Baker, and he's always a force to be reckoned with. He makes it up past the 40-yard line of Chatham-Kent, so good return from Baker. And Hamilton gets another shot offensively here in this 3rd quarter. We're still tied at 27.
Good job there from Lucas Doyle and Dean Weiberg, 30 and 77 from the Cougars special teams to bring Baker down. He is a house, and not surprising when they need at least 2 players to get big number 42 down to the ground.
They keep it on the ground and evading some tacklers, and actually he's going to go all the way in for the touchdown. He gets past everybody. Number 33, that's Connor Perosley. for the Hamilton Hurricanes, and he goes into the end zone for a major score. Perazle using his speed to get past everybody and taking the lead once again is Hamilton, up by 6 at the moment.
Well, we do have a flag on the field, and we do have an injured Cougar on the field as well. Yeah, that penalty goes against Hamilton. So that's going to negate the score. They're working on the leg of the Cougars player who's down on the field. Looks like maybe they're trying to assess the knee. Training staff always so important. Doing a great job making sure that the kids don't suffer any major injuries, and if they do, they're treated properly.
And there's Turner, who pops up.
Well, you never like to see anybody get hurt. And Turner is certainly a big part of this Cougars offense. And not putting a lot of pressure on that left leg, so that's not good to see. You hope it's nothing serious. As I mentioned, the trainer looking at the knee, moving it around, seeing where the pain is, and trying to assess what type of an injury it is. And Turner really struggling to get off the football field, so you certainly don't like to see that.
Not putting any weight on it, so he's literally getting carried off of the field, so not a good sign offensively for the Cougars to see him carted off the field like that. And we hope we can see him ASAP back out there.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that one. The way that he's going off the field there, still being carried off to the sidelines. You certainly hope it's nothing serious.
All our best for Owen Turner, injured in that last play. Ball at the 25-yard line, and the ball well over top of the quarterback's head. And now it's going to be thrown away by the running back. And Kyle Baker picked that one up and immediately just tossed it out of bounds. Flag comes out. And an intentional grounding, I do believe.
Yeah, no receiver in sight. It was obviously a broken play. That ball going about 2 or 3 feet over the head of the quarterback.
So you lose the down on intentional grounding, and then they place the football where it was chucked out. And what comes out in the wash, it's 2nd down and 31 from their 46-yard line, at least the Cougars' 46-yard line. So a much tougher scenario here for Hamilton. Short swing pass along the far sidelines. Past the 30 or past the 35-yard line along the far sidelines. Still bring up 3rd and quite long.
Really was a pretty heads-up play though by Baker if he had gotten away with it to make that pass attempt, because again, if it works out, it only counts as an incomplete pass and you get the ball back at the line of scrimmage. So pretty headsy play by Baker had it worked out, but
if only there were a receiver in the general area.
Right, exactly. that's offside.
3 officials agree with you right away as lots of orange flags come right out immediately. And it's against Hamilton. So 3rd down and very long continues. Now it's 3rd and 25. Ball will be backed up to the 40.
1, maybe even 2 of the receivers were over the line of scrimmage before that ball was snapped. And it is 3rd and a mile. 25 yards to go. Boy, oh boy. That's a tough one to overcome for Hamilton if they can.
Cougars D still has to be on their game here despite the 3rd and 25. They give it right back to Kyle Baker. Still able to rumble past the 30-yard line, but he is brought down. Fourth down coming up here. 4th down, still 14 to go. Still an impressive 11-yard run for Baker.
Well, you have to wonder if Hamilton's going to go for it here on 4th down. We've seen that once already in this territory. Actually, pretty much the exact same spot at about the 28-yard line, and they are going to go for it.
On 4th and 14, they keep it on the ground, trying to find some room along the outside, turning the corner, trying to get 1st down yardage.
Oh,
very impressive.
Looks like he's about a foot short.
Very impressive from Kyle Baker. And the referee is standing right beside 1st down yardage marker. But, yeah, as you mentioned, Mike, it's a yard short and didn't quite work out. So they took a gamble, and it almost paid off. I think if you could go from 3rd and 25 to still almost capitalizing and moving the chains. But not quite, but a half, 3/4 of a yard short.
And it was close, too. He was reaching out the football. Looked like he lost the handle on the football just as he was reaching out to try to get that 1st down. And certainly you can hear some of the fans from Hamilton that made the trek not exactly happy with the call that he was just short. Nonetheless, though, it is 1st down and 10 for the Cougars.
Chatham-Kent pinned deep, 16-yard line. Another
reverse for the Cougars.
Razzle move here as they come along the near side. Nice move, number 20, scrambling down the near side. And Jonathan Cartier able to get some serious yards past the 30-yard line. And the reverse works for the Cougars, picking up about 16 on that run.
Well, Cartier, boy, oh boy, he's got speed, and when he gets that edge, you just wonder if he might go all the way. Good job there from Hamilton in the pursuit, forcing him out of bounds, because that could have been a very, very long run.
Both teams kept off the scoreboard here in this 3rd quarter. Still remains a 27-27 game. And movement right off the snap.
Well, you have to wonder with Jonathan Cartier likely getting the majority of the load now after we saw Owen Turner taken off the football field. Turner, obviously dangerous weapon on this Cougars offense, but after seeing him get carried off the football field, looks like the majority of the load's now going to fall on Jonathan Cartier.
Procedure call against the Cougars, backing them up 5 yards. So now 1st and 15. A little play action fake, wide open. He's got his man, completed reception, and he might be all the way to the house with Cameron Bayshard. He's about 10 feet in front of everybody. He goes in for the touchdown. Cameron Bayshard with a clear reception. And he was just able to turn on the jets and get past everybody. And the Cougars retake the lead.
It was about an 80-yard touchdown pass and run. A beautifully designed play, too, because as we mentioned, a lot of attention likely going to be on Jonathan Cartier, number 20. They bring Cartier in motion across the front of the quarterback's face. They fake the handoff. Obviously, Cartier getting a lot of attention, and then complete that pass to Cameron Bayshard, and Bayshard just turns on the jets after that completed pass and gets in for the major.
Extra point does not go through successfully, so it's a 6-point lead for the Cougars. It's 33-27, first score of this third quarter. 5:16 to go in the quarter.
Great play there from the Cougars, though, to jump out in front now. Again, using Jonathan Cartier as a decoy. Clearly, Hamilton has noticed that he is a major weapon for this Cougars offense. And they take advantage of that. Complete that beautiful pass to Cameron Bayshard, who, again, about a 75-yard scamper for the touchdown.
Good boot from Mazuski. Comes back to around the 20-yard line. And past the 30, about the 32, that's going to be the starting point for Hamilton. And now the Cougars defense back on the field, and they've been doing a great job all throughout this third quarter keeping Hamilton off the board. They're just going to keep that going, and it's really important right here. You just scored a major. Defense has to stop them right here and get the football back for Chatham-Kent.
And really, you got to know that the focus is going to be on big number 42, Kyle Baker. He's been the key threat here for Hamilton in this football game for the most part. We mentioned 23, Mazzotti, a few times, but really Baker's been carrying the load, and he is a load. He's not easy to bring down. Oh, and a fumbled snap.
Right off the snap, quarterback having a lot of trouble hanging on to it with the last moment. Zach Kazar still able to keep possession for Hamilton, but that is going to be a loss of some important yards. A drop of about 3, so 2nd and 13 coming up.
Yeah, if you're the Cougars defense, you'll take that without a doubt. Certainly on first down, it's a good way to start off on this possession for Hamilton. Looked like that was going to be a run play to Baker, but obviously the drop snap, that didn't develop.
Quarterback hands it off to Kyle Baker, but he looks like he lost his footing as he was turning the corner along the far side there, and again this football comes backwards, so that didn't work out either.
Yeah, good job on that far side. I believe it might have been Ethan Joseph, number 25, flashes up the football field to contain that far edge and force Baker to cut it back inside, and lost his footing. And a great position here for this Cougars offense, this Cougars defense to flip the field position and force Hamilton into a tough situation on this 3rd and long.
Loss of 5 for Baker in that last play. They go to the air, and it's intercepted by the Cougars. Along the far sideline, dashing towards the end zone. It is a pick 6 for the Cougars. And Jonathan Cartier doing wonders on both sides of the football. Grabs it and goes into the end zone for 6 more points. So things are really starting to come together now for Chatham-Kent in the third quarter.
About a 40-yard interception return for a touchdown for number 20, Jonathan Cartier, who's been huge for the Cougars on offense, and that time huge on defense. Great job. Looked like that ball might have even been tipped before it got to his hands. Does a good job to maintain his concentration, catches that football and returns it to the house. We've already seen that speed, and obviously proves dangerous there after he makes the interception. Cartier with about a 40-yard interception return, the pick 6. The Cougars here with a chance to go up pretty big.
And they fake the kick, and they go to the air, and it is caught. They get another point. A couple of points there as that works to Patrick Azuski. He catches it in the end zone. The Cougars now all cylinders firing here late in the third quarter. 3:17 to play. And now up by 14.
Well executed 2-point play there. They fake the extra point, go for 2, and well executed, very cleanly done. And a great job here for the Cougars to make up for a missed extra point earlier. I believe they've had 2 in this football game so far. Great job to go up 41-27.
And now 21 unanswered. The Cougars at 1 point down 27-20. And back in the driver's seat now, 41-27. Zuski again with a good kick, and that's well over top of the intended returner, scampering back to almost the 10-yard line. Got a lot of real estate to make up, and he just gets past the 20 to about the 21. And that's number 83 with the return, Lucas Johnson. Had the ball sail over his head. The Cougars defense will take that field position. 23-yard line is where they mark the football.
Just so happens up here in the booth we have the president of the Chatham-Kent Cougars football organization, and
he's nervous, so just take it easy on him, would you?
Also, member of the coaching staff of the Pee Wee squad that recently won the championship. Congratulations, Sel Jordan. Obviously, it's got to feel good to win a championship and complete a perfect season.
Yes, actually, it was a great feeling for us, and it's great for the kids. They worked real hard all season, and to get an Ontario championship, we couldn't be more pleased.
And that really bodes well for all levels of Cougars now. You get the Pee Wee championship. These kids are going to go up the ladder, so to speak, in the Cougars organization. So, years from now, you get all this talent, and you've got them in the stable for so long now.
Yeah, you know what? We've been fortunate. Kevin Pugh's group probably was 2-3 years ago, won a Pee Wee and then won a Bantam championship, and they're doing extremely well. And I think hopefully we have another group that can repeat also.
What was the key for your team to go undefeated this year? Obviously, coaching is so important at that level. You remember that coaching staff, Cesar Torres, the head coach, and when I spoke with him before the championship game, he was really all about crediting the coaching staff, and really he was just sitting back and more of a manager, if you will, which is really what the head coach's job is, to manage the coaching staff and make sure overall everything's running smoothly. And it seems like that was the message from him. The coaching staff was fabulous, and it really helped that the kids had been together for a little while as well. A lot of the kids had played at a very young age and had come up to that level.
Yeah, Cesar's very humble. He is an excellent head coach. He did a lot to get us as a leader. He's very, very strong. He always motivated the players to have a goal in mind, and did the same thing for the coaching staff also. So a lot of credit goes to him for his head coaching. But you touched on a good point. We had a lot of grade 4s that played Pee Wee for 3 years, and when they were in grade 4, they didn't get a lot of playing time, but they stuck with it, and because they did, they ended up playing Pee Wees for the 3rd year, and I think we probably had about 6 or 7 players that played Pee Wee for 3 years and then reaped the benefits of it there in the championship game.
Sel Jordan to get up here at the broadcast booth. 3rd and 2 on the field. We're approaching 30 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, and the Cougars having a very good 3rd quarter here, up by 14, 41-27. And Sel, the Pee Wees, of course, getting the ultimate success this year. Other 3 classes for the 2014 season really maybe not living up to expectations.
Yeah, we were hoping some big things with Kevin Pugh returning with the JV group, but it is a very different team. There's a few players that got injured. There's a few players that didn't return. It is really a new coaching staff, so that team needs to probably rebuild. Our varsity group struggled a bit this year. Defense has played, well in most games. Special teams, the offense has struggled. A lot of new players there. Again, we have a new coaching staff on the offensive side, so they're going to grow into it. Mike Newman is the offensive coordinator, and if you know Mike, he's one that's knows the X's and O's, and he's going to take this season away, and it's going to get a lot better. The Bantams. This is a great game. The offense has changed here and changed to the better. I think in the last 3 games they've averaged probably about 30 points. And so if we can stop anyone here, I'm telling you, this has been back and forth. Very entertaining game. Glad we have it on TV Cogeco today. And, another thing I think that's helped us for sure has been our minor program. Our minor program is produced our peewees and our bantams, and we have great coaches there with our minor program. So, the future's bright. I think, especially starting from minor all the way up, and with Kevin Pugh's group there in JV, and Jeff Green's always doing a good job with the varsities, teaching and learning. So,
everybody has their theories, and certainly a theory that I've thought and have heard other people echo is the older that the kids get, the more difficult it becomes to compete with the larger centers like the Londons, the Hamiltons, the Burlingtons, because they have that larger population to draw from. Do you find that that's something that is a bit of a challenge when it comes as the kids get a little bit older?
Yeah, you know what? That is absolutely true. I feel there is a lot competing for their time right now, especially when they do get over 16 and they start to work. And in Chatham-Kent, youth working is probably, it helps the household, I'm sure. So those are some of the issues that we do have, and because of our population numbers are the way they are, with less than some of the major centers. I think we do have a hard time competing that way. But that being said, you know what? With Chatham-Kent, it is a small knit community. We know who the athletes are. We know who we need to get a hold of. If we can get the high schools on board, and maybe even get another high school coach or two, I think we can compete with anyone if we get the right players out and we get the high schools on board. The high school football here is excellent, and if we get those athletes out, we should do well, I think, still.
And I don't think there's any doubt that there's talent within this municipality. We see it every weekend here when we come out to the Cougars football games. There's no doubt that there's talent within this municipality. Certainly, as you mentioned, they get older, that's a challenge. Also, the sheer size of the municipality is a bit of a challenge, when it comes to sports, and not just football, but for anything. Obviously, you have Windsor-Essex on one side, and then you've got the London region on the other, Sarnia even kind of creeping in there a little bit. That sheer geography can sometimes be a challenge as well.
Agreed, and we do have some of those pockets of areas that really don't have football as a sport they could play, like the Ridgetowns and the Dresdens. And if we were able to grow out there and get some of those players to start playing, you never know. An Andy Fantus could have lived in Dresden and never played football, right? So hopefully we can touch those kind of players with our minor program. We got to get back out in Bantam. We have to hit the Tilburys areas and the Dresdens and get them exposed to it. And you never know, we might have a couple players there that learn to like and enjoy it. We actually have on this Bantam team, we have, I believe, 3 players that are from the Tilbury area that are trying football for the first time. They have some size, and our coaches are coaching them up. And so this group is a good share of grade 7s and 8s, but I would still say this group is fairly young, this Bantam group, with some players' years of experience. And we have guys that are trying it. They're really enjoying it. Matt LeBute's doing a great job in making it fun for this youth. And again, if we can get some exposure to some of these areas that don't have football and get some of those farm players out, that could help our program too.
Gensel Jordan up here in the broadcast booth joining us at a 10-yard holding penalty, a big key here for this drive against Hamilton. And right now it's going to be 4th and fairly long for Hamilton to deal with in Cougar territory at around the 44-yard line. And Sal, you did mighty fine here this afternoon. We were quite impressed. We didn't know if we were going to get you, and you did a great job. But again, great success for the Cougars all the way. And to Mike's point earlier, there's no shortage of interest for kids to play with the Cougars, because it seems like every registration you guys have, you're just bombarded with kids signing up for the Cougars.
Yeah, you know what? I'd like to thank you guys. You guys give us some plugs over on the radio, and that's a lot of it. Getting the advertisement, getting the word out, and it's a community effort for sure. And we're lucky to have good volunteers. We're lucky to have you guys supporting us. And the parents are excellent. The numbers here, just even coming to watch the game, interest is growing. Football's still doing well. So thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Well, you're a tireless supporter of football and sports in general in Chatham-Kent, so kudos to you. You do just tireless work, and you do a fantastic job. So hats off to you, Sel Jordan, and continued success, all right?
Thank you.
He's already out. He's already
he's
1 foot out of the booth as we're wrapping it up.
That's enough
here,
time for me. Okay,
we
so
got him for an
Jordan,
interview, though.
Yeah,
That's
we
something.
didn't think he'd stick around. He
No.
said, "Okay, how about third quarter?" And we turned over, and of course, nobody was in the seat that he was sitting in, and managed to wrangle him in. But
He is a man of his word, though. He was here.
he was big interception there from Jonathan Cartier. Number 20, there was a flag on the play, but apparently that flag against Hamilton, so the interception stands. Big number 20 with his second pick of this football game. One of them a pick six. This one, he gets tackled 1st and 10 at their own 33-yard line.
Cougars back with the football. A little swing pass along the near side and almost brought in by Ben Bernard, but couldn't hang on. Had some pressure in front of him, too, but dropped the football. So 2nd and 10 coming up.
And Bernard, he would have had some real estate in front of him. The defender there deciding to go for the football instead of sticking around to make a sure tackle had it been completed, but it falls incomplete. Bernard, though, would have had the chance, though, to go a long ways had he held on to that football.
Into the fourth quarter, 11.5 to play. Cougars with a 41-27 lead. And with the football, and they fake the handoff to the running back. And it looks like the quarterback kept it himself, but no success as he was sacked. Jared Millard hanging on to it. Defense seeing that one from a mile away. And ball back to the 25-yard line. 18 yards away from a first down, 3rd down. And back to pass. That one is hauled in. Pass from Patrick Izuski to Jonathan Cartier. He does haul it in, but it was a relatively short gain when you have 18 to go for a first down. He did pick up 8 yards to get to the original line of scrimmage, but still a 4th and 10 situation coming up here.
Yeah, a little bit of trickery there. Izuski gets the football as if it's a running play and then throws it out to Cartier, who's able to haul in the pass, but as you mentioned, a defender right there to drag him down. 4th down here, and it looks like the Cougars going to go for it.
Already with a 14-point lead. Pass along the near side, and that one was hauled in from Cartier, but still short of the first down, picking up about 5 yards, not the 10 needed. And a gamble that was lost by the Cougars, so a turnover and downs, and Hamilton now gets the football at a really good position, 38-yard line.
Yeah, on the Cougars side of the football field. So the coaching staff decides to roll the dice there, but unfortunately it doesn't work out. And as you mentioned, Hamilton going to have good field position here. Trailing 41-27.
And now they once again give it to the big running back, 42, Kyle Baker. And he picks up at least half of what's necessary for the first down, maybe even 6 yards in the ground.
Looks like that was...
Actually, it looks like he maybe picked up 9 on the ground, so he got more than what it initially looked like. But Kyle Baker with a good run on 1st and 10.
Looks like it was Brady Bogart, 68, with the tackle there. Good job, or else Baker might have been gone for a lot more.
Baker gets the call once again on 2nd and very short. And doesn't get very much at all. Doesn't get enough to break that plane and move the chains.
Good job by the Cougars defenders there, too, realizing that he had nowhere to go, trying to strip that ball out of his arms. Cougars defense opportunistic, have forced a couple of fumbles, and Hamilton's put a couple on the ground themselves too. Now we've got an injured Hurricane here taking a knee.
Baker again did get enough for the first down, so fresh set of downs for Hamilton. It looks like maybe it is Kyle Baker that is on one knee and being looked at by the training staff of the Hurricanes. 41-27, the Cougars with the lead. We're 8:25 to go in quarter number 4. Both of these teams looking for their second win of the season. Final home game for the Bantam Cougars this season. And Kyle Baker does walk off slowly under his own power. Doesn't look overly shaken up, maybe just winded a little bit.
Yeah, whatever it is, yeah, you're right, Mike. It looks like it is of the minor nature because he was able to walk off fairly easily. We'll keep an eye for sure if Baker comes back.
And a pass complete. The 30-yard line, so that actually goes backwards 3 yards. So -3 on that passing play there. 2nd and 13. The Cougars D will take that for sure.
Good job from 81. Julian Farrell making the sure tackle, holding on to that leg and bringing down the receiver. It's a tough hole to fill without Baker in that backfield for Hamilton.
They go to the air on 2nd and 13. Short pass caught. And a little stiff arm. Getting about 10 yards. And now a flag flies as Ryan Muharrem takes his man out of bounds. Picking up about 10 on the play. Let's see if any more is being tacked on here.
I believe they're going to say yeah, it's a major foul against the Cougars for a late hit, they're going to say, or they're going to say the receiver was well out of bounds when he was thrown to the ground. It was, in my opinion anyway, more of a hug to the ground, but generally that type of flag is reserved for something vicious or violent on the sidelines that's well out of bounds. I think the defender was already engaged as they went out of bounds and was just completing the tackle. It certainly wasn't violent, but nonetheless, it was out of bounds.
So from the 30-yard line, now the ball winds up at the 6 after that 15-yard penalty is tacked on. And Hamilton goes to the ground, nothing doing there, as they gave that to running back Josh Phillips, who gets a carry. Again, Kyle Baker, the guy who has the lion's share of the carries this afternoon, as he head off to the sidelines after he was injured a couple of plays ago. And Phillips only getting back to the line of scrimmage, so 2nd and goal, still from the 6-yard line. Cougars trying to rebound from that big penalty called against him, and once again, running back is wrapped up immediately. And the Cougars doing a very good job, and actually back out on the field is the aforementioned Kyle Baker, number 42. He got the carry that time around, and the defense saw that right from the start.
Yeah, Baker back out there, but the Cougars defense up to the task there. Their backs up against that goal line. Big stand here from the Cougars D. If they can stop them on 3rd.
Once again, they give it to Baker on the ground, 3rd and goal.
And he is short.
4th and goal coming up here.
Boy, oh boy, though, this is real close to that goal line. This is about a yard, perhaps, yard and a half from that goal line, going by that 4th down marker.
And they're absolutely going for it here. 4th and 1. 4th and goal from the 1. 5.5 to play in the fourth quarter. A 14-point lead for the Cougars. And once again, they march it towards the end zone with a big man, and he gets in for the touchdown. You give it to Kyle Baker, and the size alone easily pushing that football forward 1 yard. So it does dent into the Cougar lead here. A Kyle Baker touchdown. And for the time being, 41 to 33.
Well, tough to stop big 42 when you're that close to the goal line.
Very high snap. The kick is up. And it is through. So we're back to a 7-point football game. 41-34 now. Exactly 5:30 to play in quarter number 4.
Good looking kick there from number 2, Sam Richardson. Something to keep an eye on maybe later in this fourth quarter if it is required. If a big kick comes up, Richardson certainly looks like he's got a decent enough leg to hit something around the 35 yard mark. Again, the wind has been swirling around today, but right now it looks to be at the backs of the Hamilton Hurricanes. So if they need something big, something certainly worth noting, which is 5:30 to go here in this football game.
Still very much anybody's game, but of course the Cougars back with the football here certainly want to take as much time off the clock and ultimately want to strike the end zone one more time.
And I wouldn't be surprised. We've seen a couple of these onside kicks, if you will, and wouldn't be surprised we saw another attempt right here.
Towards the sidelines, and it goes out.
Cougars going to get good field position here. Another one of those directional kicks where they try to put it somewhere where one of their own men can get under it, but that kick just sailing too far and out of bounds. Looks like the Cougars are going to get the football around the 45 yard line to start. So great field position here for the offense.
Nursing a 7-point lead. Looking for win number 2 in the season. Last home game for the Cougars, Bantam. Same situation for Hamilton. So they're looking for win number 2 in the 2014 campaign. They keep it on the ground and bouncing off of one would-be tackler. Good job by Owen Turner good to see him back on the football field with some good health, and he gets up to the 50-yard line. That was a big crunch hit you heard up here.
Boy, oh boy, he just ran over a defender from Hamilton. But Turner, as you mentioned, good to see him back on the football field. If you remember, he was actually carried off the football field earlier in this half. Turner, though, making his presence felt right away. I believe that's the first time that we've seen him on the football field since he was carried off. Boy, a nice pickup on first down and pretty tough run to boot.
And flags flying everywhere off the snap. Some early movement on 2nd and 5.
Yeah, that one's certainly going against Hamilton. They were no doubt across the line of scrimmage when that ball was snapped. We had a good vantage point here right at midfield.
First down run, though, for the Cougars, so they decline the penalty. And football right at midfield. 1st and 10, Chatham-Kent. Clock continues to kick, which is just fine for the Cougars. Up by 7. Swing pass along that far side. It is complete, but wrapped up immediately after the catch was Patrick Izuski. And he didn't make it back to the line of scrimmage, dropping a couple of yards.
Yeah, it's interesting play. They'll line up 3 in the backfield and then motion them all out to the same side and throw the ball to the trailing running back, and then he's got a couple blockers out in front of him. But that time, Jonathan Cartier, as soon as he makes the catch, there's a defender right there and just had nowhere to go.
Second and 12. Fake to the one running back, and Quarterback does eventually hand it off to Jared Millard, number 32, playing the running back, or sorry, 22, pardon me, Owen Turner gets it. And he's able to get back to midfield. The original line of scrimmage with 3rd and 10 is the situation here offensively for Chatham-Kent.
Yeah, they flashed Jonathan Cartier in front of the quarterback, fake the handoff to Cartier, and then hand it to Turner. Big third down here for the Cougars as they try to run this clock down.
3rd and 10. Again, they keep it on the ground. The football comes loose. Looks like Chatham-Kent able to recover and keep possession, which again will keep some time ticking off of the clock here, but a 4th and 9 coming up here, so very large chance the Cougars will have to punt this one away.
Matt, now they did try to convert a 4th down on their last possession and came up short, and they were deeper than this in their own territory. It looks like the looks like the Cougars want to talk this one over. As we mentioned, big 4th down, 4th and let's call it 9.5 to go here with just 3 minutes left to go on the clock, up by 7. Big decision here if the Cougars can get a 1st down. If they decide to gamble, take some more time off that clock.
But on the flip side, if you don't get it, you're giving Hamilton very, very good field position. Again, you're only up by 1 touchdown now, as opposed to 2 touchdown cushion last time they tried this.
And you certainly are. Not only that, but Hamilton, you got to figure they feel like the momentum is on their side a little bit now after that touchdown. And they do have the wind at their back, so don't forget, if the Cougars are kicking away, they'll be kicking into that wind. And it looks like they are going to kick it away. They are lining up to kick it away anyway. Yuzuski, number 85, the punter, is lined up back there.
And they do boot it away, angled along that far side. Now a little bit of trouble hanging onto the football. It's loose at around the 35-yard line.
Ooh, looks like the Hamilton Hurricanes recover that one. I believe it was Kyle Baker that was back there, big number 42, that jumped on that after he had some initial trouble.
35-yard line, under 3 to play, 2:51 to go. All eyes on the Cougar defense here, trying to stop them and salvage their 2nd win of the campaign. They keep it on the ground, 1st and 10. Another hurdle by the big running back, Kyle Baker, leaping over one defender again and making it all the way to the 50-yard line of Chatham-Kent. A 25-yard run.
Boy, Kyle Baker, he is a house, but man, does he ever have some athleticism as well to, boy, that's about the 3rd hurdle we've seen. If you're a track and field fan.
I was going to say, I'm sure he was good at track and field in school, too. With the 2 hurdles we've seen so far this afternoon, he gets the football once again, a couple of stiff arms past the 40-yard line. And now Kyle Baker has got his team and the Hamilton fans in attendance all on his back here.
Oh, and Baker shaken up again.
Second time we've seen an injury timeout for Baker here this afternoon. First time didn't hold him up for very long at all. And now he takes his helmet off, down on one knee.
That's the second time that we've seen Baker take a knee here in this quarter. The big man's up and walking off under his own power. 2:29 to go. The Cougars lead by 7, 41-34, and Baker's been the big part of this Hamilton offense. I'm sure they'll be anxious to get him back. But last time we saw Baker leave the field, the Hamilton Hurricanes went to the air and did a pretty good job.
Ball to 39. Cougars up by 7. They go to the ground once again. Minimal pickup. And second and about 8 coming up here. 2 yards on the ground.
Oh, good play there.
On the ground and nowhere to go for the running back, Connor Perosley.
Big Joe Betterly swallows him up, number 70 from his defensive end position. Great job by Betterly. Dragging him down for minimal gain.
Big play here, 3rd and 8. And once again, the Cougars defense all over Connor Perosley right when he gets the football behind the line of scrimmage. Great defensive line job there for the Cougars.
Brendan Bondi gets through the line, gets a hold of his leg and drags him down in the backfield. Big 4th down here. Hamilton has to go for it, you figure. Trailing by 7 with just 1:44 to go. And Baker's been on the sideline for the last 3 plays, and the Cougars defense has really flexed its muscle for those 3 plays.
The team's talking it over here, as Mike mentioned, just $1:44 to play in the 4th quarter. 7-point lead for Chatham-Kent. So really this game coming down to this next play here, 4th and 9. In which you certainly imagine Hamilton really has to go for it.
Yeah, you got to figure they're drawing something up here. Even if Baker does come back into the game, you got to imagine that they're going to go to the air. And when they have thrown the football, they have had some success. Keep an eye here, see if big number 42's come back out onto the field. And yes, he is out there.
So here we go, 4th and 9 for Hamilton. Just over 1.5 to play. The pass is caught and taken down for a 1st down just outside the 20-yard line. And they go to the air, as Mike mentioned and predicted, and it paid off.
Number 23, Sebastian Mazzotti, who's made some big plays for them, has a score already in this game.
Fairly major injury there, as you see getting carted off the field and a cast already on one of the arms.
Yeah, good job by the training staff and the coaches to make sure that the player was tended to properly. They knew right away something wasn't right, and you can see his arm was in a splint there. They're going to take him to the hospital for sure.
Back to the game, 1:28 to go on 1st and 10. Hurricanes getting, again, very good yardage, about 8 yards that time. So 2nd and 2 coming up. Clock continues to run in a 7-point Cougar lead. Once again, they hand it off. Big running back gets the call once again. 1st down and more. Handing it off to Kyle Baker.
Joe Betterly, number 70, wrestling him to the ground, but Baker so big and strong, still getting a couple more yards once Betterly gets a hold of him before he's able to wrestle him to the ground.
Ball the 7-yard line. It's 1st and goal now for Hamilton, trying to tie it up under a minute to go. Handed it off to Kyle Baker once again, trying to find that seam into the end zone. Does he make it? Touchdown, Hamilton. And Kyle Baker, they're able to tie it up and come all the way back down from 14 not that long ago.
Are they going to go for 1 or 2 here? Are they going to go for the win?
Some of the Hamilton fans that made the trip down, they'd love to see him go for the win here.
Oh, looks like Hamilton now, the coaching staff, yelling for a timeout. They're going to talk this one over. Again, both squads with 1 win on the season. Boy, this is a tough one. Do you kick the extra point, tie things up, and only 45.1 seconds left? It's a lot. It's a long bus ride home if you go for 2 and don't make it.
Thanks to our cameraman, Jeff Brooks, for rescuing some papers that just flew out. Almost made it the entire game without the papers flying out. Then they flew out.
Big play here coming up. This could be the game right here. And they are not lining up for the extra point. They are going for 2.
Going for the win. Or at least there will be a few seconds left when the Cougars do get the football back, but going for the lead. And to the end zone, it falls incomplete. And the Cougars will have the lead and the football. It falls just short of the intended receiver. 45 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. And you can see the dejection on the Hamilton players. The Cougars survived that one 41-40. Now the score, 45 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. What an exciting game this has been.
They've still got the kickoff. You know exactly what you're going to get here. Another one of those onside kicks. Certainly Hamilton have practiced this one enough. In this game, we've seen at least 3 of them, maybe 4. And you just know that the Cougars coaching staff telling the special teams players right now, move up. This is going to be a short kick. We're not the only ones with papers flying out of the booth here.
Need to invest in more paperweights up here.
The actual card flying off of the scoreboard electronic piece, whatever it might be called. And that onside kick flies out of bounds, so the Cougars going to get the football. Oh, just getting word, it looked like it was number 22, Owen Turner, batting that football out of bounds. That's a heads-up play because the football goes to the team who bats that ball out of bounds. Cougars going to just get into the victory formation here and take a knee, you'd expect. Elementary here for the Cougars, just taking a knee.
Riding their victory here, the second win of the season for the Bantam Cougars. A hard-fought victory, really going right down to the end in that last drive offensively for Hamilton, where they just missed the 2-point conversion after the touchdown, going for the win, instead going empty-handed.
Really a well-played football game right from the get-go. High scoring, some highlight reel plays from both sides.
Entertaining right to the very end. 4 quarters complete. 41-40. The Chatham-Kent Cougars Bantam Club defeating their counterparts from Hamilton, the Hurricanes, by 1 point in a great football game. And we're glad that we were here to bring that to you. So again, we saw some great offense. Both sides back and forth battling all 4 quarters.
Yeah, really, to me, the keys to the game were the running backs for both sides. Certainly for the Cougars, number 20 and 22, Jonathan Cartier and Owen Turner. And then, of course, on Hamilton's side of things, big number 42, Kyle Baker. Certainly were the keys to this game. And really, the Cougars just coming out on top, 41-40. So close, but that slim margin, all it took here today. Fantastic football, though, for the crowd here that came out to the athletic complex.
Yeah, great crowd, too. Good weather, so it was a great recipe for success here at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex. Cougars come on top this afternoon, a 41-40 win for the Bantam Division over Hamilton. On behalf of Mike James, Jeff Brooks on the camera, and the rest of the TV Cogeco broadcast crew all season long with the Chatham-Kent Cougars. Make sure you check them out every step of the way at chatham-kentcougars.com. My name is Mike Renier. 41-40, the Cougars winning over Hamilton on TV Cogeco.